Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. This is inauguration day, and I did a video this morning, and I'm going to do another one. You're probably saying, what, 2 in a day? About 4 or 5 minutes into the inauguration speech of Donald Trump, President, the tones dropped and there was an accident. So I decided to respond. During the day, not a lot of guys around because they're all working. So I immediately went to the scene. The engine had beat me there. There was a single car accident into a pole, and we were informed when I got there that the driver fled the scene, and then a few seconds later we were informed through dispatch that he was armed, which was no big deal because he had left the scene. So we had a little bit more law enforcement respond to that call. And actually they were on their way to respond a few minutes earlier. He had caused another accident and fled that scene. So this is his second accident. We packaged the female passenger up and she was transported immediately to the hospital. We were still there on scene, providing traffic control, and a second one of our rescue personnel came through and said they saw a person hiding in the ditch near the fire station. So law enforcement was told, and the ones that were on scene immediately went. I immediately left to go to the fire station. The reason was he was within 100 yards, seen within 100 yards of the fire station. The fire station door was open where the engine responded, and I didn't know if there was anyone there. And my biggest fear immediately was this guy had made some bad decisions today. He could make another one by stealing a fire engine, stealing a brush truck, a service truck. And I said, oh my goodness, he's going to take one of our trucks. So I immediately left. When I got close to the fire station, and we're only within a mile. When I got close to the fire station, there was law enforcement about 100 yards in front and 100 yards behind me. They were stopped along the road looking into the ditch. I got between pretty much both of them, and all of a sudden a guy from the ditch jumps out, runs up this little hill, and runs right at me. By this time I come to a complete stop. I was probably going 20-25 miles an hour. Come to a complete stop. He's hollering at me, wanting to get into my vehicle. I looked over and made sure the door was locked. I did not see a firearm, but he had something in his hand. I do not know what it was. At the same time, I pushed the horn, blew the horn to get the attention of all the law enforcement, and immediately put it in reverse. As I'm putting in reverse, he's running forward, hollering at me to let him in. I kept going, probably about 40 yards in reverse as he's yelling. The police responded. Some ran up on foot, some drove their vehicles, and they took him down right in front of me, literally. I'm very happy he didn't have a firearm. For me, there was no options. If he would have stopped and pointed a gun at me, it would have been a few options. I did not have a firearm on me because of county policy, you cannot have a weapon. I didn't have a weapon in the vehicle. It's my wife's vehicle. Hers was the closest to get out. So, mentally, I was prepared to defend myself. If he pointed a vehicle at me, I would have considered that life or death, and I had to use something. I couldn't reverse. The road is so straight. I couldn't turn left or right. If I tried to get off the road, it's a hill on both sides and a fence. I wouldn't have got too far. So I had no options. There's no way I could have reversed it. I'd had to go a quarter mile. And if he was shooting at me, it'd just been straight shots into my vehicle. So mentally, are you prepared to drive forward and striking him to stop the threat? I would definitely have been prepared. In the military, if you're a driver of a military vehicle, your weapon is the vehicle. You know, don't try to shoot out the window as you drive. That weapon is your vehicle, or is your weapon. The vehicle is your weapon. So are you mentally prepared? A lot of people get into riots and they get taken out of their vehicle when they have a thousands and thousands of pound weapon right there that they could use as a weapon. But we're not mentally instructed how to do that. We're not mentally prepared. I was definitely mentally prepared. Going through military driver school, you're taught that, you practice that. That is your weapon. So the horn definitely helped. It alerted law enforcement, and they took the man down right in front of me. Happy that he didn't have a weapon in his hand. But my biggest fear was this guy already made some bad decisions today. He was going to make another one. And stealing a fire truck or stealing a service truck with our department name on it and crashing elsewhere would probably not what we would like to have in the paper. So did I feel threatened? Yes, I felt his behavior, him running after me, him hollering at me, trying to get in, was definitely, you know, carjacking. He wasn't asking nicely. He was desperate to get away from the police officers. And I think he just saw me as a civilian. So be mentally prepared. Keep your doors locked. Having no firearm, it definitely limits you. If you do carry a firearm, practice sitting. I was in my vehicle, so I would have had to draw my vehicle from the sitting position. Do you practice that? You need to. Maybe you can't get your firearm out where you store it. Do you store your firearm in your glove box? If I had a weapon in my glove box and I had to open that glove box, get the weapon out, and he came out of the ditch firing, I wouldn't have stand a chance. I would have had to use the vehicle as a weapon. How do you carry your weapon? Is it locked and cocked, safety on, or do you just have a mag in with nothing in the chamber? In my situation, reversing, it'd been very hard to reverse the vehicle, take my hand off the wheel, and operate the weapon system as in loading around by pulling the slide back. That'd have been impossible. So carry your weapon in a condition where with one hand you can operate it. You can take the safety off, or if it's a Glock or something, you can just depress the trigger. So I've never been in a situation where I was going to be carjacked. I've been in a lot of crazy situations in the military overseas. Who would ever thought a few miles from my house some crazy would try to do that? But it just gets back to being a prepper, being prepared, having the equipment you need, having the mindset, practicing. I'm going to practice a lot sitting from a chair with my seatbelt on, simulating a seatbelt. Maybe you can't draw your weapon with a seatbelt on. I'm going to practice that. That's what I'm taking away, is practice that. Maybe I'll just put my firearm in my holster, get in this car, put the seatbelt on, and say, hey, can I draw this comfortably? So, crazy day. I will always remember this day. Donald Trump gets inaugurated, and SP1 almost gets carjacked. Thanks for watching.